Mel, we have to dive into your past as well, because as you've mentioned a couple of times there, Simple Minds, obviously that was the big band, the one that you're best known for, so many years with the group, incredible stuff. And you joined them kind of just when they were peppering the kind of top 40 before you joined. But when you joined, everything just kind of went boom, didn't it? New Gold Dream was the first album that you played on and you toured with and joined the group. So tell me about that period. How did you join the group? How were you introduced to the group and that sort
I
of thing?
joined the band through a guy called Peter Walsh. He was engineering a band called Heatwave, who I was sessioning with at the time, and he said, "Would you want to come over and come in the studio with this band called Simple Minds?" And I'd never heard of them, so I said, "Yeah, well, sure, let's do it. Why not?" So I went over to start to record, and I ended up recording over three-quarters of the album, and the rest they say is history. So I ended up joining the band and haven't looked back since.
Absolutely. And as you said, history, I mean, that record itself, New Gold Dream, I think it went to number three in the UK. Some big singles on there as well. Promised You a Miracle, Someone, Somewhere in Summertime is one of my favorite Simple Mind songs as well. So
Wow.
that time when they were recording those songs and you were in there, did you get a vibe that things were going to blow up? Did you have the buzz around the band at that point?
Yeah, I kind of knew that the band was gonna blow up. Didn't know how big. It wasn't until we got to when I got fully inclusive in the band, or included in the band, I should say, that we started to kind of rise up, and that was on the Sparkle in the Rain album, when we had Waterfront, we had Speed Your Love to Me, we had Up on the Catwalk, and these tracks were, they're kind of meteoric in the rise of Simple Minds. And then we got to, Don't You Forget About Me, Once Upon a Time, Alive and Kicking, and that just transported the band into stadium status.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Sparkle in the Rain. I mean, that was the group's first number one here in the UK, and it's a big deal for anybody to go to number one. So how did it feel when that record did top the charts then?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, there's a buzz, and when we played everywhere, it was everybody just embraced us, and it was a great feeling, really great feeling. And yeah, I mean, the time with Simple Minds was a great time.
Absolutely was. And we've got to speak about Don't You Forget About Me. You've mentioned it there. I mean, it's gone down as one of the biggest anthems of the 80s. And there's a lot of stories and myths that surround it as well. A lot of people turned it down, like to Brian Ferry and Billy Idol and David Bowie, apparently. And Simple Minds didn't want to do it originally either. So what do you remember around that time being offered it and listening to it the first time and what kind of surrounded the decision making?
Well, we got offered it, and we basically said that we write our own songs and record our own songs, so we're not really interested in doing other people's songs. But we heard the song, great song, and we thought, why not give it a try? The main thing is that we wanted to crack the States, so that was going to be part of a movie which was going to be coming out in the States, and John Hughes met us and explained that whole situation, and our record company said it would be a great move, so we went with it.
And you put your own spin on it as well, because originally it didn't have the kind of hey, hey, heys on there and all that sort of stuff. So you did Simple Minds the track up, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when it came to recording the track, we recorded the track and everything was kind of doing this, and and I thought, no, we have to go to a breakdown. Come on, let's break it down. So I broke it down, and we went down to a kind of breakdown situation, and I played a fill out, and Jim, lo and behold, came out with the la la la's because he didn't know what to sing. There were no lyrics, so he came out with la la la, and it kind of stuck.
Absolutely. And that kind of helped lead on to another huge moment in time. I mean, Live Aid, you guys performed in Philadelphia. You were actually recording your album around this period, weren't you? So you had to fly into Philadelphia to do the show. I mean, what do you remember about that day and the incredible scenes that surrounded it?
Well, I mean, we were recording in Woodstock, upstate New York, and at the time we were just like getting on with the album, and in the forest, and sheep around, and the whole lot. And then we got the call to say, okay, we're going to be on Live Aid, and I was like, okay, great. And then all of a sudden, we're in the stadium, 100,000 people, you know, and playing, in front of a billion wide worldwide audience. Surreal, and being introduced by Jack Nicholson on stage, fantastic. I mean, it was just like surreal. The whole thing was surreal. So those two days out, from recording was just so special.
I've spoken to a number of people that played Live Aid here in Wembley and the different events that happened. I mean, what was the buzz like backstage? Was it a big hangout? Were all the guys around, or were you kind of bust in and out, or what
Oh no,
happened?
no, I mean absolutely. We hung out with everybody from Bo Diddley to oh, Led Zeppelin to the Pretenders. You know, there was everybody was there, and it was just such a buzz, such a feeling. You know, and you can imagine the kind of after party for that, which we didn't stay for because we had to get back to
Oh
record.
no.
So yeah, so we kind of missed out on that, but it was a fun time, really fun time.
Absolutely. And looking back now, I mean, it's almost 40 years on, isn't it, from that event, which is crazy. But what are your thoughts on Live Aid, almost 40 years on then?
Live Aid was just phenomenal. I mean, you know, it's a moment in history. It will never be repeated again. And you know, it's something you can tell your grandkids. I've told my grandkids about it, you know, and they, you know, and it's just it's just incredible, incredible period.
Absolutely. And we talk about incredible periods. 1985 was just incredible for the band all over. And we'll touch upon the album we spoke about Once Upon a Time, because that was another number one in the UK, top 10 in the US. And you spoke about Breaking America. And that one really did push you over, didn't it? As well as Don't You Forget About Me. I mean, looking back, America at that point was the big thing. And you guys had gone over there and you made it big. So what was it like? Because you had toured quite hard over in America to get your stuff across, hadn't you? So how did it feel when it finally did go over?
Well, I mean, when it finally went over, I think I remember getting a support tour with the Pretenders. So we went out and tour with them, and it was just incredible. I mean, to be the support for them, and we toured. Wow, we toured. I think it was the best part of 6 months over there with them, and then came back, and then we decided. Well, the agents decided that we should be out there by ourselves touring. So we had a headline tour of America as well, and parts of South America and back into Europe. I mean, it was huge. It was a huge time, really huge time.
Absolutely. And as we said, 1985 was the year everything came together for you. I mean, what do you look back on as was that the year that kind of everything peaked for you musically, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. 1985 was the kind of the ascension to get the product happening, and the albums were just really hitting home, and the touring was great. So everything just happened, you know, between 1985 and 1986.
Fantastic stuff. And just a quick mention on Jim Kerr, because obviously you worked with him for many, many years, spent so much time with him on the road, and we know him for his stage persona and what he's like on stage and in front of the public eye. But what is he like to work with in the studio?
Jim was very quiet in the studio. You know, he just let us get on with what we were doing, you know, and you know, we kind of had a discussion or angle on what we done, and we just got on and done it. You know, there wasn't too much talk in the studio. We just got on and done what we have to do.
And in terms of the creative process within the band, did it all kind of they came in with the songs and this is what we're doing? Is that the way it kind of worked?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a creative process between all of us, you know, and you know, Michael McNeil was a big part of the melodic content of Simple Minds, and yeah, we kind of based a lot around that.